All right, we're right back at Bozo's Tire Shop, and we're getting about ready to get another tire shop tale, I guess. That's what we call it. Bozo, we was talking the other day about old remedies or medicine before the modern doctors and all that stuff, and hospitals. How people, you know anything about that stuff?
Well, yes, I know pretty well what was going on back in the 20s and 30s in the earlier days there, when you relied on home remedies.
Home remedies.
You had to, if something occurred in the medicine, they had to talk to the old grandmother about what to do.
Well, I remember being a little fella and my mother giving me a sugar with turpentine on it for something.
Well, that was for worms.
Oh, she's a worming me.
She wormed you, and then the coal oil was called coal oil in the old day, but it's kerosene now.
It's coal oil then. I remember Daddy called it coal oil.
And it's kerosene nowadays. That was for cuts, bruises, and if your dog got snake bit. That was.
Well, you know that you remember a certain fella around here come up with a liniment. It was basically that's the main ingredient, and it's still for sale in some of the drugstores. One of them I know of.
You can still buy Betty Rose liniment all up down the street back in the older places. They still rely on it.
And it was the main ingredient was coal oil, wasn't it?
It was coal oil.
You know, Betty Rose is still living, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, she is. She's up here at Patience Creek. The girl at the bottle at the medicine flame, that surely is. Let's see, I've got some more old remedies that they use.
What do they use for, like when they get the colds and stuff? They want no.
They had a toddy.
A toddy.
They had a toddy sitting upon the mantle, and well, man, it had some pretty potent ingredients, but the best thing about it had little white lightning in it.
Oh, that's the rest of the story.
That was one of the potent. That would break out the fever. If you drank that potion, you got in the bed and put the quilt over, switch it out. And
it worked.
Yeah, every time. But now, listen, if you this thing called Castor oil.
Oh, Castor oil, I've heard that.
And that was the main player. It was just used for 2 or 3 remedies, but constipation.
Constipation.
Yeah. It came along before black dog. Black dog came second. You had to hold your nose and drink that castor oil. It really worked. Let's see now.
What do they do now? There were no hospitals when people had young ones. I guess they had them at home.
That's called a midwife. There was ladies around over the counties that went and stayed. It might stay 2 or 3 days. If the lady, she might not have been just ready just exactly to have the child, but they go and stay 2 or 3 days ahead of time to be there. They were midwives.
No, they didn't have license or nothing like a doctor. They were just, that's what they did.
No. Here in Manchester, F.R. Wallace's wife, Manchester Baptist Church man, his wife delivered all the babies in Manchester. She did all the babies delivered in Manchester.
Oh, but there you go.
This the name for this is the Frontier Nurses now. This was up in the Redbird section where their camp is right today, their headquarters. It's not maintained like it was, but it's still there. They doctored on horseback. Now they were physicians. They were licensed to do that. Okay.
Okay.
They covered Leslie County, Bell County, Harlan, Clay County. All they rode horseback each day to do their doctrine. I don't know if they stayed overnight, but they may have. But now they ranged in that much territory, the frontier nursing did, and that was up there. It's where the Redbird Hospital and school is today. The Frontier Nurses was the name.
I was over it recently. It's real nice up there now.
All right. I think they might have been supported from an organization in New York. But they were a real asset to these 4 or 5 counties that they now. I don't think they ranged out as far maybe as Jackson County or something. But you know what? I'm talking about in this section.
This area.
In that area right there, and all over the Big Creek and Leslie County, and but now you can find results of a lot of people that was it's been doctored by the Frontier Nurses.
Well, what happened? Say, like, I know it sure had to be gunfights and stuff back then. When they take a bullet out, what they just...
Well, I doubt really they...
See these old Western shows, they just throw the alcohol on them or reach for a bottle of whiskey or something. But that's not right, is it?
No. And I don't know if they attempted much of a surgery. I'd say you just died. Lead poison got you. I don't.
So you either lived or died.
Yeah.
The bullet probably most times stayed in there then.
Yeah. I never did hear much in the surgery part. I'm satisfied though that the Frontier Nurses ladies was capable of doing some of that and doing stitching, stitching up places of that nature. But it is that was the earliest I know of. Was the liniments, the castor oil, and the sugar and turpentine, and that went with the younger people. But that castor oil was the main ingredients for everybody.
I know. I remember them sugar and turpentine when I was a little fella, and I didn't. Boy, I'll tell you, I didn't want to take that swallow of that spoonful of stuff. What about bee stings or anything? What, do you have anything special for that, or?
Yeah, let me tell you the cure for the wasp sting,
Okay.
Grandpa took the chew out, and placed on it.
Tobacco.
Yep. And it would draw that's the bee and then mosquito, anything of a bite nature. Yeah.
So tobacco had a use, other than just chewing and spitting.
And just bring it around and kept it right on it. I've seen it work, and it does work. The tobacco would pull that poison right out of there from that sting bite.
What about snake bites?
Well,
that
went a little deeper than the bee bite.
Yeah.
Well, you take a real sharp pocket knife and make an X where the fangs went in, and you have to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation right there. In the old days, they had to pull it back out.
So that part we seen on the old Western shows actually was what they did.
That worked with the pocket knife with the X on it, and draw it right out.
And if you didn't get that done fast enough,
that's the only way. And then you had to really rely on that potion then. It was real off the mantle, sitting on the mantle there.
Oh,
was the potion. That was honey. That was honey and little sulphur and honey, sulphur, and white lightning. There's another ingredient it takes to make it work. it may have been alum. They had this, they call it a potion.
Maybe somebody seeing this will know
About the potion.
Yeah, because there've been a lot of comments on your
Well, now that's
little tales from the tar shop videos.
I really don't know all the ingredients, but I know that it was a valuable, it was an asset. Everybody had to have a potion. So if you had a fever, it would break it.
Yeah.
If you had the fever,
But that's a little different from the toddy, though.
Well,
Or not too much?
No, they were close relatives. Real close.
Well, White Lightning, bro, I made them first cousins. Oh my gosh.
Let's see if we can think of some more of them. All right.
Like
Hominy.
what?
Hominy.
Well, what was hominy good for?
All right. Hominy had to be washed with lye.
That made it hominy.
It had that husk that's around that white corn after it's been cooked in the big kettle outside and cooked. You have to put so much lye in it to make that outer hull come off and turn white as snow. Okay, it was a must that the children eat hominy whether they wanted to or not. Because we go back to that worming again. That lye in that hominy would worm the little fella. I'm between 5 and 8. That's when the worming takes place in children.
Okay.
Between 5 and 8 in that section to get rid of the pinworms, the little white pinworms. But now hominy was
A way to do that.
besides the sugar and turpentine,
Yeah.
hominy was the next thing to go. And the lye, that
was
they took that husk off was now.
That was a secret weapon. The lye was.
Yeah, that was just one thing that the lye was good for. Besides, so I don't guess I ever did tell you how you get rid of the lice and nits. You know, back in the earlier days.
We still have that problem in schools here today, but they got medicines for it now.
But back before water and soap and the water was so plentiful in every home, you know, it wasn't no sin because everyone sooner or later caught them.
Okay.
It passed on. And Mama's white soap rendered from the hog lard
So
with the lye in it.
The lye again.
Don't never leave home without your lye. Listen, down to the creek, these girls with the long, in the old days, they braided it up on their backs. They carried a heavy hair. You know, it wasn't cut off and really trimmed in them days, not in the old days.
Yeah.
So they would go down to the creek with that white cake of soap.
White cake of lye soap.
Bye-bye nits. Bye-bye lice.
I remember my grandma making that. She always made lye soap.
Well, I told you the benefits of it.
Yeah.
You could wash the dishes in it, or you could wash your head. But now and it was in all outer country schools. Well, I'll say most of them in the outer schools, it was there. It just.
So they could take care of it right at school.
Yeah, it's when you came home, mamas would always search you.
For nits.
Yeah. When you came home, you get a real good searching for the nits, boys and girls. But the girls would be more susceptible to it. With their hair would reach down and get on the desk behind them. See now, this.
So women didn't cut their hair hardly at all back them days.
No,
you didn't see that.
No. That's been an unforgettable sin. But listen, that hair from them little girls would come back onto the next disc.
Behind.
And it would get off, and it would it would travel on your arms and close back. It just got everybody.
So it was
There wasn't nobody that wasn't susceptible to not getting the head lice. It was just you got it. You didn't keep it. But
well, I say that worked good for something else they don't call lice that they get, right?
The lice in this, I told you a pleasant cure was the old white soap with the lye in it.
I never did know that. I mean, you.
Okay.
But I remember the lye soap, though.
I've been there.
I guess that's why I remember my mother searching me for head lice and stuff.
And that comb that they use to comb it with, say it was 4 inches, but it had the finest teeth that it just bring the hair, nits and all when you made the rake through there. It was that finer.
So they had a special comb for it.
It was a special comb. And it isn't ever home. They was one in every home.
No home without the lye soap or white soap and the comb.
That was a must. But the old remedies, this is some of them, and there are more. There are more of the remedies.
Sulphur, was it used for anything?
Yes, it was. The yellow sulphur was.
I remember.
You put it in cuts and alum. If you had a bad cut, it would just draw it and wrinkle it right up. And alum and sulphur was that was mostly all they relied on in the old days. If you got yourself cut, that was before they was doing any stitching. Home people didn't know how to really do that much. They could sew up a saddle. With that rawhide, they could sew up a saddle or something, but they wasn't really advanced that far on just little skin.
Right.
So they relied on them other remedies. They washed it out.
What about
they washed it out with white lightning. Now listen.
That white lightning was a.
Listen, that was before the alcohol came along off the shelf.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to get on T.C. Sizemore because he's busted up, they'd say, 500 moonshine stills. He took a lot of medicine out of the county.
Oh, he took his house. But,
Kentucky's most famous sheriff, T.C. Sizemore is. Or there's a book out.
He called himself the little barefooted boy from the Weatherby Trail.
Yeah, we talked about him in one of the other videos.
Yeah, no, but now he's destroyed a lot of them copper tubes. He got rid of all the copper.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, what about one more thing I want to ask you about? Because I've got another appointment up here. But what about earaches?
All right. Now listen, and this is probably not being.
I can't much remember having earache.
This is what they did for that. They heated a candle, and let the drip, the candle go in through the eardrum. Just a regular candle.
And
a candle is what they use for in a bad inner ear infection or that's what it'd be. But today in this modern day, it'd be inner ear infection. But back in the old day, it was a real bad
earache.
Just a real bad earache.
And that done what to it? That fixed it?
Well, yeah, they sure did. And that's just the regular dropping from the candle heated up. That went in there and soothed them nerves.
But now we're not recommending people go out and do this stuff now because we got all these doctors and stuff. And
this modern day doctor don't want to hear about no candle being dripped in the ear.
We're just talking about what they used before modern day medicine.
We're talking about before they had
and no way telling nobody to try any of this stuff.
And see, no telephones, no highway service. Just a few people in the county could own an automobile. Well, them old T model. T was first, then A.
Okay.
And to get from one place to another, it was
so frontier nursing was actually, this was a frontier.
That was exactly the name of it. It's still over there. It's just not being used, but all the barn is there that the stock that kept their horses in, and the rooming house. Now people that lived real close to there could ride and come and bring their women there maybe a week early and leave them. They had the facilities to stay there.
You say like if they're gonna have a baby.
Yeah, but they ranged that farther than just that. Every day they went out in different directions. They had little rounds they made, because they tell them on Wednesday, I'll be back next Wednesday, and see how far along we are, you know, and emergencies. They come get them and they take them back, and they go with them on emergencies. The people have no mule to ride to the places to get them, and they go back home with them, and doctors, and stay maybe a day or two. And the frontier nurses, they were the lifesavers in eastern Kentucky, in far eastern.
Okay.
That borders in Kentucky.
Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about next time, but we got lots of stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some towns that went on by, that time passed on by, that was really thriving in the 30s. Towns that thrived in the 30s, times passed them on by.
And that's all going to be in Clay and surrounding counties. We're going to talk about.
They'll be here in surrounding counties.
I know we talked about Oneida thriving.
Yeah, well, now we've got to talk about Burning Spring. It was the crossroads in the lower section. I'm going to call it the lower section of Clay County. It was the crossroads. It's where 472 and Jackson County and Owsley County and Lower Sexton all came together.
Okay, so that will be the subject of our next tar shop tale.
That was where
the Burning Springs.
Headquarters. That's where the mail arrived, and they just dispersed it out in different directions that was the main headquarters.
Well, all right then. Well, it's good talking to you again, Bozo. And that walking cane, is that homemade or what?
Yes, it is. It's a necessity. It's lightly. It's out of the bamboo light.
Oh.
Yeah,
strong and light.
Yeah, I have to have this to balance myself with. But we'll go back to more.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.